YouTube. I've got most of the wiring done except for the solar panels. Like I said in another video, not going to worry about that too much at the moment. I need to get a charge controller and some other parts for that. Other than that though, the wiring is done. The water pump is wired, the lights are wired, I have outlets. There's nothing missing really. I've got all the comforts of home. So I'm going to kind of go over what else there is. First of all, I have a good spot for my propane stove, right next to the sink and fridge, right above the microwave. It's a perfect spot for it, doesn't take up all that much room. I can close the top and use it as countertop as well. I'm going to find a different spot for my fire extinguisher, because the way it's going now, it's kind of behind the stove and everything, and if something goes wrong, it's probably most likely going to be at the stove, so I want the fire extinguisher on the other side. So that's on the list. I have also, and I'll turn on the light down here to show, I have an under cabinet light down there. That's that light that used to be for the whole bourbon, but when I put in this counter, it kind of got covered up. So now it kind of lights up my, I guess you could call it the mechanicals area, which is actually good. It's good to have a light built in down there. So you can see my water pump right there. I'm going to clean up all this wiring. I'm going to get some zip ties and clamps and stuff, clean it all up because it's kind of messy looking. I'm going to kind of lie down a bit here so it's easier to show this. Now you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see I do have a fuse block up there. It has 6 spots. Currently I'm using 5 of them. That's 2 outlets, 2 lights, and the water pump. So I'm using 5 of the 6 spots. I still have 1 more spot. Probably will put in another cigarette lighter plug, because I already have 2 of those behind the microwave. I'd like to get another one on the driver's side of the bourbon. You can see the battery there. I still need to find a top for that that'll fit in there. I might just cut a piece of wood to the right size or something. I'm not too concerned because it is an AGM battery. It's not really going to be a big concern. But I'd be more comfortable if it was actually covered up. I did get that inverter wired in, and I will kind of show how I did that. What I have done, and it's really hard to see, you might not be able to see, in fact I'm not even going to really show it here. I actually tapped that smaller inverter into the back of this one. Here, you know what, why don't I turn the lights up, see if that helps. There we go, much better. So you might be able to kind of see, you can see I have some other wires coming off of the back of it. Those are tapped into the big lugs on the back of this inverter, and they go to my smaller inverter. Oh, my battery charger just kicked in. So what I've done, that's an 800 watt inverter, but I might use 100 or 200 watts from it at most at a time. It's pretty much just for powering laptop, recharging cell phones, crap like that. Tiny power tools, mainly rechargeable power tools is what would be plugged into that. So I just use 12 gauge wire. It's only about 1.5 feet or so between these two. Even at full power, that isn't terrible. But I just have a 30 amp fuse in there for that. So the fuse for the big one is 150 amps, and then piggybacking off of that is a smaller inverter with a 30 amp fuse. So 150 goes to 30. I think we'll be just fine. I can't imagine I'll need to use more than 30 amps, which is 250 to 300 AC watts. So that works fine, and I'll just show that it does turn on. There you go. It turns on, it works. I already tried it. My outlets work. I've shown this in another video. I do have outlets in here built in. Oh, I'll show this too. I do have a cigarette lighter plug mounted in there. I just need to run the wires for it. That was kind of just an afterthought. I happen to have a spare one lying around, so I just stuck it in there. Switches. I'm going to, this is still something I need to do a little finish work on. I'm going to get a piece of wood and kind of mount it up here, like a backsplash almost. It'll first of all hide some of this stuff back here, because this will just be storage and stuff like that back there. But it'll also provide a spot to mount switches, so I have kind of a panel I'll put a battery gauge, all that stuff on there. This switch is for my water pump. I don't have it hooked up to a tank at all, so I'm not going to show you how that works right now. I'll do a separate video on that maybe, or I'll do that in my final tour. But that does control the water pump, and I have this on there just so I don't accidentally turn it on at all, so it's not accidentally bumped or anything, because I don't want to leave this thing on for a long period of time and then have something blow or something like that. That wouldn't be good. And this guy here is for my light strips. So you can see it turns off like that. Turns back on. And I can control it via my remote too. So there is not much more to show, is there? Very happy with this. It's actually very comfortable. Plenty of room for me to lie down. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up a water tank and hook it up to my water pump. I'm going to vacuum this, get all the tools and stuff out of here. It needs a good cleaning after all this work I've been doing in here. It really needs a good cleaning. Put away the tools, clean it up, hook up the water. I'm going to stick the bed in here, see how that works. And then I'll do kind of a video tour then. Oh, the last thing I still need to do, I forgot. This will be easy though. Let's hook up the drain on this. Just get a small tank or something for that. So anyway, not anything more to show in this video. I'm going to vacuum, do the stuff I said I would, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.